We on 1300 deep.
Well, positive message to your ops, man. I know you mature, so what you could say?
So do you feel like it's a way to die things down or nah? Be honest, you know?
I mean, if everybody just mind their business and focus on getting this bread, like, you know,
time. Ain't no telling, man. Time. We just young minded right now, man.
Glock and one of them mine. Okay. Body just dropped and both of them mine. We're killing the snitch. How you get down on one of your brothers? Cause of that bitch.
Tell my niggas the same way. We gon' get this money just another way.
The New Breeds are one of Chicago's most formidable and enduring African-American street gangs. Rooted in a lineage of old breed underworld figures whose influence stretched back decades before the rise of modern gangs. Emerging from a network of West Side gangsters with deep ties to the Chicago outfit, the New Breeds evolved out of the Black Gangsters of the 1970s and 1980s, an organization shaped by the leadership of George Boonie Black Davis, a feared enforcer and political power broker in the city's criminal underworld. Over the years, the gang absorbed rival factions, controlled housing projects, forged alliances, and maintained a reputation for calculated violence. Through police crackdowns, federal indictments, and generational leadership changes, the New Breeds adapted, expanding their reach into multiple sets across Chicago's west and south sides while retaining the organizational discipline inherited from their old breed predecessors. The New Breeds' roots stretch back to a little-known lineage of African-American organized crime figures, sometimes called the Old Breed, who operated in Chicago decades before modern gangs rose to power. One of the most influential of these shadowy figures was George Boonie Black Davis. Older than leaders like Larry Hoover or Jeff Fort, Boonie was already tied to the Chicago outfit by the late 1950s. Known as a formidable goon, he had a reputation for never failing to collect debts, sometimes using brutal intimidation methods, and in 1968 became a powerful barn boss in Cook County Jail, controlling other inmates with near total authority. Some accounts credit Boonie with founding the Black Gangsters in the early 1960s, possibly in prison, and by the mid-1970s, they were strong enough to tax other gangs. In 1969, the Goon Squad emerged in North Lawndale, clashing with the Vice Lords. Though Boonie was not a member, their violence drew the attention of the Black Gangsters once members entered prison. In 1972, Julius Davis organized West Side inmates into the Royal Family, a syndicate of hardened gang members from multiple factions. Their early crimes were sloppy. Inside prison, he and Collins merged the Royal Family, Goon Squad, and Black Gangsters into the Black Gangster Nation, with Boonie controlling the West Side, Collins the South Side, and Samuel King Ram Lawrence over Pockettown. The BGN expanded into suburbs, eliminated rivals, and maintained outfit ties through the 1980s. By the early 1990s, Boonie's son Prince Spoonie formed the New Breeds Black Gangsters, a more aggressive faction that seized Vice Lord territory, flipped gangster disciples, and grew rapidly. Boonie initially kept his distance, but joined forces after his 1997 release, creating the Black Gangster New Breeds. Through the 2000s, the New Breeds dominated the ABLA projects, forged alliances, and maintained a reputation for violence and organization. Boonie's influence, rooted in old-school mob connections and decades of authority, cemented his status as one of Chicago's most respected underworld figures. When Boonie died in 2009 at 71, the gang turned out in force to honor their last dawn, closing a chapter in the city's mob-linked Black gangster history. George Davis, better known on the streets as Boonie Black, was a legendary Chicago gangster and the founding dawn of the Black Gangsters, later known as the New Breeds. An old-school boss with deep roots in the city's underworld, Davis reportedly maintained close ties to the Chicago outfit and operated in a time when gang power, political influence, and organized crime often overlapped. In the 1970s, Davis organized the Royal Kings in the ABLA homes, better known as the Village Projects, and later broke away from the Black Gangster disciples to form the Black Gangsters alongside Samuel King Ram Lawrence and Maurice Baldy Jackson. His leadership circle, known as field marshals or generals, included feared street figures like Maurice Cochise Cooper, Gam, and Jeepers. Davis was described by law enforcement as one of the last true old breed gangsters, a figure who allegedly controlled his own drug supply, forged political connections with the Harold Washington administration, and enjoyed protection from certain elements within law enforcement and the Italian mob. While rumors of his reach and influence swirled for decades, few of the stories were ever proven in court. His death on October 6, 1983, in Calumet City symbolized the end of an era, but the organizations and street culture he helped shape continued to dominate parts of Chicago for years to come.
So the other inmates there said, "Jeepers!" I said, "Yeah." Now what made him call me Jeepers, he comment on it, "Where's that Jeepers Creepers guy?" And every time I do it, he give about everybody on the tier, like this big jail here. Capone bought everybody a steak sandwich.
Every day?
Yes, so we used to eat upstairs in that building there upstairs there. We lived up there like a king with Capone, because he bought all our food. To hear me here, and all he wanted was to hear that Jeepers Creepers guy. You have suits tailor-made for $22.50. I didn't know anything about the clothes. That's why I still stuck. Anybody see me and I'm not dressed like this.
Thomas Jefferson, better known by his nickname, Jeepers Creepers, was born in 1922 and became one of the most respected elder statesmen in Chicago's underworld. A close associate of Boonie Black from their prison days, Jefferson served as a consigliere-like figure for the New Breeds, earning the title of the gang's Godfather. Jefferson spent decades behind bars, much of it in Cook County Jail, where he ran legal libraries, mentored younger inmates, and acted as a jailhouse lawyer for fellow prisoners. His deep knowledge of the legal system and calm, authoritative presence earned him respect across multiple Chicago gangs. Law enforcement and underworld sources alike tied Jefferson to the so-called Chicago Round Table, an alliance of top black gang leaders that included Jeff Fort, Larry Hoover, Mickey Cogwell, and Boonie Black. This council reportedly worked to coordinate territory, manage narcotics distribution, and mediate conflicts between major organizations. Though many details of his life remain shrouded in legend, including claims of ties to Al Capone or time in a cell with Elijah Muhammad, Jefferson's real legacy lies in his political connections, quiet influence, and role in major drug operations. His disciplined leadership style helped lay the groundwork for future organizations like the New Breeds. Dana Bostic, known on the streets as Bird or Mellow, was just 33 when federal agents finally took him down. For nearly a decade, Bostik ruled over a lucrative heroin trade on Chicago's west side, controlling a 12-block stretch near Pulaski and Van Buren, right on the Lawndale-Austin border. Bostik was no small-time hustler. He led a powerful faction of the New Breed Street Gang, running a H market that prosecutors estimated pulled in 10,000 a day. His operation didn't just push drugs, it thrived on violence. According to investigators, Bostik was locked in bloody turf wars with rival gangs like the Undertaker Vice Lords and the Four Corner Hustlers, ordering shootings and green-lighting hits to protect his territory. His reputation for violence was long established. Back in 2002, he had already been arrested for a gang-related deletion. Authorities say he was a career criminal who acted as the chief decision-maker in gang wars, using intimidation and lethal force to maintain his grip on the streets. One cooperating hitman, Maurice Capone Davis, admitted he worked as one of Bostik's shooters, In August 2010, a multi-agency raid swept up Bostik and more than 25 of his associates, a mix of street-level dealers, armed enforcers, and drug suppliers. By February 2012, Bostik pleaded guilty to federal heroin conspiracy charges, admitting to large-scale deals in 2009 and 2010. In court, federal prosecutors described his organization as an open-air drug empire fueled by violence. Judge Matthew Kennelly agreed, noting that Bostik's crew used violence from time to time to achieve its goals. In 2012, he was sentenced to 38 years in federal prison, ending the reign of one of Chicago's most dangerous H-bosses. The most sweeping takedown of the New Breeds street gang came in Operation Impunity, a joint FBI and Chicago police investigation that targeted the gang's most infamous stronghold, the Square in Lawndale. This cluster of housing projects had become an open-air drug market where drugs were guarded by armed enforcers. For more than 2 years, retired FBI agent Mark Horton worked deep undercover inside the Breeds network, buying drugs and gathering intelligence. By May 2006, his work combined with intensive wiretaps and surveillance had built an airtight federal case. That spring, the Department of Justice unsealed indictments against 56 gang members and associates in a sweeping conspiracy to distribute narcotics. Authorities had originally planned for 67 arrests. By the end of the day, 43 suspects were already in custody. Among the defendants were key leaders of the gang's Lawndale operations. On May 2006 raid day, authorities executed 13 search warrants, flooding Lawndale with federal agents. The bust effectively collapsed the gang's operations at the Square, dismantling a territory they had held for years through violence and intimidation. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald didn't mince words. The Breeds, he said, did not get the message from earlier sweeps, but any gang trafficking drugs with guns would now be relocated for many years in prison. The arrests made national headlines, and the case became a textbook example of coordinated local, state, and federal enforcement. Retired agent Mark Horton has since told the story on the FBI Retired Case File Review podcast, recalling how the New Breeds once truly operated with impunity until Operation Impunity shut them down. The 2006 raids were a turning point, paving the way for later prosecutions, including the 38-year sentence handed to West Side drug boss Dana Bostic in 2012. The Woods and Beyond, Laid Land Set, is a New Breeds faction based at 68th and Marshfield. Active since the early 2000s, the group has been involved in internal conflicts with other New Breed sets, including Tim City and DVLB. The neighborhood is also represented musically by rapper Breed Reese. The Tonio Mob, KMG set controls the eastern portion of Chicago's Whole Stroll, stretching from the Viaduct to Costner Avenue. Centered at Lexington and Kenneth, their territory also includes Lexington and Costner, Lexington and Kilburn, Fifth and Tripp, and Roosevelt and Costner. Once controlled by the Gangster Disciples, this area has been under New Breed's influence since the 1980s. The set has suffered losses, including member Tonio, and is also known as Costner Block. The Johnny Mob / Chopper Squad set operates out of 19th and Troy. Though smaller in size compared to some other factions, they remain part of the broader New Breeds network on the west side. The Mao 1500 set is based at 15th and Kedzie. They maintain close ties with the One Trey Breeds while feuding with the 1300 ZMG set. Members such as Mao Shek and Johnny Dang have brought the set's identity into the local rap scene. The Shaw Mob 3900 set is a New Breeds faction rooted at Crenshaw and Pulaski, with additional presence at Crenshaw and Springfield and Crenshaw and Keeler, formerly an area controlled by the traveling Vice Lords. The territory shifted in the 2000s as the New Breeds established dominance. Over the years, the set has lost members such as CI and Shaw, and is also known by aliases including DMG and Money Gang.
Fuck niggas finna be bitch. Skirt room choppers and them bitches. Bitch, you have
For One Trey, LMG set is based around 13th and Spalding, an area known as the neighborhood where Kennica Jenkins grew up. Her memory is still honored by the group today. Closely aligned with other New Breeds factions in North Lawndale and the Village, One Trey maintains strong alliances while holding a long-standing rivalry with Tonio Mob. The set is active in the local music scene, represented by rappers such as Lil Pride, Lil Breed, Lil Funo, Young Trap, and Prince Jomo.
We on 1300 deep.
Well, positive message to your ops, man. I know you mature, so what you could say?
So do you feel like it's a way to die things down? And nah, be honest, you know?
I mean, if everybody just mind their business and focus on getting this bread, like you gonna
Time. Ain't no telling, man. Time. We just young minded right now, man.
Who is Boonie Black?
We just started Black Gangster, BGN. It was Black Gangster Nation, you feel me? Got changed down to New Breeds over time.
It used to be GDs, man. We heard, you know, but that was before our time.
This the
headquarters of the Breeds, bro. Everybody was making money. Like, a lot of money get us come from this hood, bro. I swear to God.
They had to tear the buildings down because they was making so much money.
That's right.
So this was y'all buildings right here?
You seen Hardball before?
Yeah.
This is where Hardball was shot, right here in this big field right here. And make sure all your people good and do what you got to do as a man. That's a gangster, because that's hard to do.
We the only hood that ain't got no back door going on our names.
So y'all really believe in loyalty then?
Yeah, that's what we live off of, the 3L.
That's why we call it the village, because we are family. So I want to just do better for the community, just want to build my community uplift.
Nah, that's real. Was your first heartbreak a woman or the streets?
Shit, the streets.
I got some show with your boy out of the trenches, man. Young Will, salute, bro. All the way from 1300.
Yeah, we in a V. You say what? 1300.
Fuck my homie on man and shit. Got Glocks, got 50s, all kind of shit. Now I sneak this and they speak on my name, but can't get a response. Stop trying to shit.
The Tonio Mob TNT set, also known as the Village Breeds, is a New Breeds faction based at 13th and Throop. Recognized as the second set of New Breeds to form, they control the other half of the Village housing complex, with the remainder held by the Walkerville Moan Block set. The group is also represented in the local rap scene by artists such as Lil Randy and Prince Glow. The Walkerville Moan Block set operates out of 14th and Morgan, where the New Breeds have maintained a presence since the 1960s, controlling roughly half of the Village housing complex. This set has deep historical roots in the area and continues to exert influence over its territory.
Just want some more, hit the road, do some shows, just a touch of roll. Rub my weed, told my pole, and always take skull. Never lack, keep my strap.
The Germ City Perfect Aim set is based around 13th and Claremont, known for its tight-knit structure and territorial focus. The group remains an active part of the local gang landscape. The Tone World 4100 set, also known as Rel Gang, originated as a New Breeds faction once led by notorious gang figure Dana Bostic. The neighborhood gained national attention after Bostik was featured in the true crime series America's Most Evil Gangsters, which spotlighted the crew's influence in West Garfield Park. Their main stronghold is at Gladys and Karlov, with additional presence at Congress and Pulaski and Van Buren and Keeler. Active since the 1980s, the set has endured decades of street conflicts and the loss of members such as Tone and Rel. The Tim City set is based around 69th and Winchester. Once part of a single group with the Woods and Beyond set, the two factions split in the early to mid-2010s. Today, Tim City continues to operate independently, with members such as local rappers Breed Titty and D-Gang Quanio representing the neighborhood's identity in music and street culture. The 2100 Slug Life KTK is a New Breed set that has been active on Chicago's west side since the 1990s. Their main territory centers around 21st and Kildare, with 21st and Keeler serving as another key block. Over the years, the set has been tied to street conflicts, the loss of members such as Latrice, and a cultural presence through local rapper O'Kane. GHSM Fella Gang is another New Breed set, controlling a significant stretch of Madison Street from Holman Avenue to Kedzie Avenue. This crew has long been embedded in the area's street life, maintaining influence within the West Side's gang structure. The 1100 CPG set operates around Fillmore Street and Loomis Street, known for its long-standing neighborhood ties. This group remains part of the broader network of gangs, shaping the dynamics of their community. The story of the New Breeds is as much about legacy as it is about survival. From Boonie Black's outfit connected reign to Dana Bostic's violent H empire, the gang has been both a product of and a contributor to Chicago's broader underworld structure. Federal operations like Operation Impunity struck major blows, but the group's resilience, set-based structure, and deep neighborhood roots have kept it a persistent force on the streets. Today, while internal rivalries and law enforcement pressure have reshaped their territory, the New Breeds remain a living link to a bygone era of Chicago gangland, an era where power came not just from guns and drugs, but from political connections, criminal alliances, and the enduring code of the old breed.